Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Friday Ramblings, and we are less than a week away from Thanksgiving. And we all know Thanksgiving means lots of food, lots of feasting. But you are not going to watch me make a pig of myself on this channel today. That's not the kind of celebrating we do here at Roulette Productions. Nope, we are all about pop culture entertainment, so we're going to bring to you something I've been sitting on for a while. We're going to review one of my personal favorite manga. And we are doing it because it is highly food oriented. It is all about appreciation for the appetite. That's right, folks. We are talking about Toriko. Woo! But let me go ahead and get my visual aids. Toriko is Toriko. We're gonna talk about Toriko. 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 Now let's talk about Toriko and food. Toriko. Look at Toriko. Story and art by Mitsutoshi Shimabukura from Shonen Jump, who brings us so many wonderful manga. Volume 1. Volume 1. Look at that. Fork and knife and a plate. Already you know this is good times. Toriko ran from May of 2008 until November of 2016. Totaling 43 collected volumes. 43. The beginning and the end. I'm not going to show you all 43 covers though, because you got to discover them for yourselves, and that would take up way too much of our video time. So what is Toriko, and why is it so feastastic, fooderific, a culinary delight for your imagination? Well, Toriko takes place on an alternate Earth in which the planet is divided into the human world and the gourmet world. Now, the human world only takes up a small portion of the greater Earth. Human world is referred to as such because it is the parts of the planet that humanity has control of, as opposed to the super dangerous creatures that compose the gourmet world. Now, in the human world, the most important thing in their varied societies, the one underlying theme behind all of civilization is food is awesome. Like 90% of the industries directly revolve around food. Acquiring food, serving food, delivering food, making better technology to cook better food. Yep, this is a world in which people enjoy their meals. And they enjoy a wide variety. Toriko, as a manga, is populated, due to it being an alternate Earth, with a variety of highly fictional foods. Ranging from the simple, where you have the Garara gator, an alligator that's, like so much more bigger than any alligator in real life would ever be comfortable being. Like, we're talking small dinosaur-sized, well, not small dinosaur, because they're like, little compies that big. We're talking like Stegosaurus-sized dinosaurs, so I guess mid-size. Yeah. Either way, a much bigger gator than anything you would ever want to encounter. Up through things like trees whose bark is actually ready to eat potato chips. Along with waterfalls made of pure sake, Japan's favorite alcoholic drink. And alpacas who grow cookies on them. Yep, whether you like it sweet, sour, salty, meaty, veggie-rific. Yes, folks, there's plenty of fruit and veggie representation. Carb-tastic. Or you just plain want a drink that you'll remember for the rest of your life. No, seriously, there's a whole arc about something called Mellow Cola. It is awesome. It's like a cola so great, it just, like, it defies description. Like, it's considered a more gourmet drink than the finest brandy in the world. For realsies. No champagne can compete with mellow cola. And what does this all do with a fun manga of the shonen variety? Well, simply put, most of these wonderfully delicious creatures tend to not want to be eaten. Thus, they have to be beaten up and captured and hauled in. That is the job of gourmet hunters. And in the world of gourmet hunters, there are 4 kings who are recognized as the best of the best, Toriko being one of them. This is the story of your manga, as Toriko lives his life wandering around the world, taking commissions to provide people with the foods that they will love to eat. And in the process, discovering many new foods in his journeys. Joined by a physically frail but spiritually strong chef who seeks to learn more about the ingredients that arrive already pre-prepped, ready to cook at his kitchen, and thus gain a greater appreciation for those ingredients, which in turn will make him a better chef. I'm telling you, man, you go out in the real world, you go find you a buddy that's also a chef, you ask him that. It's like, dude, if you understand and appreciate and respect the plants and animals that gave their lives to provide the food for us to eat, like, does that attitude good for cooking? Most of them are going to tell you yes. It's like, yeah, you know, if you appreciate your food and where it comes from, you'll be able to cook it with more love and respect and appreciation, which, you know, again, any good chef will tell you, your emotional state will reflect in your cooking. Think about it. It's like any good art. It portrays your emotions. Thus, the manga begins. However, not all things are good. There is evil in the world. Toriko's Gourmet Corps, the ones that most employ him most of the time, and is run by his foster father, has an evil counterpart that seeks to hoard all the best food for their boss, who has an insatiable appetite. A man who is never satisfied no matter how much food he eats and what he eats. A culinary black hole. Thus, there will be clashes over ingredients in a variety of crazy locales. So, what about your other characters? Well, as I said, you have 3 other kings, this being Sunny, Zebra, and Coco, who are introduced throughout the story in ways that allow each of them to spotlight as individual characters, show off their own unique skills. For you see, every gourmet hunter has a personal fighting style, but the best of them all agree on a couple simple rules. First and foremost being the one Toriko lives his entire life by. You do not kill a wild animal unless it is for food. There is no such thing as acceptable trophy hunting to Toriko. Life is about preservation of yourself. Survival. Survival is eating. You kill to eat. You eat to survive. You do not kill for the fun of it. That's what makes the bad guys bad. They kill indiscriminately. They kill animals that do not taste good to eat, just because they happen to be there. Bad. Bad, bad, bad. It's wasteful. After all life is sacred, so don't waste life. Toriko is also romantically pursued by fellow Four Kings sister Ren, who finds her way through awkward, attempted flirtations at the usually oblivious Toriko. So, like with all good mangas, there is that little hint of dysfunctional romance that the Japanese fiction does so well. And we have discussed in various manga reviews, because, hey, that's me. I love my dysfunctional romance. What can I say? I'm a quirky guy. So how does Toriko fight? Primarily, he fights barehanded. Occasionally, he will use a knocking gun, this being a fictional variant of a stun gun, as if it is an animal he does not wish to eat, but it insists on getting in his way and trying to eat him, he does tranquilize it, thus the animal will not go to waste. However, his skills are only mid-level, and one of his supporting characters and the previous generation's great gourmet hunters is the knocking master Jiro, who is your drunken old kick-ass man cliche of the manga. And I gotta tell you, Jiro is one of the best. With his own connections to the IGO president and Toriko's foster father. Wait, did I call him Gourmet? Okay. I think I got my name switched earlier. I'm sorry. I'm doing this without notes because I've read this manga through a few different times, and as such, I didn't really think I needed my notes. I misspoke earlier. Gourmet Corps is the bad guy organization. The good guy organization that Toriko usually works for and is run by his foster father is the IGO, the International Gourmet Organization. Sorry. Let's just pretend I got it right the whole time. But yes, Knocking Master Jiro has his own history with the IGO president and Toriko's foster father, along with one of the all-time great chefs left alive today, Setsuna, who herself offers occasional mentorship to Toriko and, more importantly, his chef ally, who, again, I feel horrible. I am Komatsu. There we go. Again, I keep getting names switched in my head because I am doing this without notes for once. But Setsuna provides a lot of guidance to Komatsu as well as a little bit to Toriko, doing what all great heroes and heroines of previous generations should do, which is be there to bail out the young when they get in over their head, but encourage them to find their own strength, make their own way, and define their own legend. So we spoke of the Gourmet World earlier. In the beginning of the series, the Gourmet World is not seen, as it is where the most dangerous of dangerous creatures lie, those that the IGO has no ability to capture, and thus is the back half of the series' big goal. Toriko gets stronger and stronger throughout the series so that he may one day go into the Gourmet World, wherein lies the ultimate feast. One of the key components of the Toriko manga is the concept of the full course meal. Several dishes, drink, appetizer, salad, meat course, entree, fish course, dessert, laid out. The idea that every great legend of the gourmet world has a personal full course meal, and that the all-time greatest legend of all things cooking and gourmet hunting, Acacia, aka the gourmet god, would thus have the penultimate gourmet meal. So, when things come about, and it seems like his ingredients, one of which is only possible to obtain when the stars align, decides to surface. It is a race between the IGO forces and Gourmet Corps' forces to see who will obtain this ultimate ingredient that at one point in time literally changed human history when Acacia served it to the world leaders. We also get into the past of that previous generation of great gourmet hunters, their links to Acacia and his chef partner, Froze, creating a rich tapestry of personal histories that wind through 3 generations and lead to a final battle in which the 4 kings, the leader of Gourmet Corps and his star apprentice Starjan, all find themselves both working together and opposed to each other in a family drama that spans generations and could put any American daytime soap opera to shame. What does this mean? It means you're going to have a great roller coaster of a ride reading through this manga. As I said, it is all about the food. It is all about the fictional foods, but many of them do have the obvious real-world parallels. You don't just have bananas, you have electric bananas, which are one of a series of so-called narcotic foods due to the fact that no matter how you prepare them, they do induce a euphoria and otherworldly experience akin to real-world drugs. These narcotic foods form the backbone of one of my personal favorite arcs in the series, the Gourmet Casino, in which we get a look at the underground world of the gourmet-based civilizations. That's right, not everybody's part of the IGO. Not everybody's on the up and up. And those criminal-minded work behind the scenes and in the seedier nations that choose not to join the IGO. Unfortunately, that can't last forever, and when Toriko needs information that's contained at one of their gourmet casinos, he and Coco lead the charge along with the generally morally good gourmet mafia members that they met in an earlier arc to shut down this gourmet casino once and for all as they confront its psychologically sadistic and hedonistic master, Livebearer. Other great arcs include the cooking tournament in which the 100 best chefs in the world compete to see who will be crowned the current champion of all chefs, as well as a wonderful little chapter. It's one of the smaller ones, but I find it a very heartwarming tale in which a tiny plot of land, like no bigger than a apartment bedroom, turns out to be worth more money than most land deals 100 times its size, due to the fact that on this tiny plot of land, there is the nest, and in that nest an egg that houses one of the rarest creatures on Earth, prompting Toriko and Komatsu to visit the old man who owns the plot and discover exactly why he refuses to sell even to people that are paying way more than any group says that the land and the creature on it are worth. It's a sad, melancholy tale of priorities gone wrong and miscommunication in a marriage that touch Toriko and Komatsu and teach them an important lesson that no matter how much you love food, you gotta remember, people need love too. And at the end of the day, don't ever assume you know what people want from you and expect from you. Communicate with your loved ones. As I said, it's a short tale, it's only a single chapter, but it's some of Mitsutoshi's writing at its best because it's a very real, serious story at its core that shows, all gag and fantasy-inspired cuisine aside, he is a writer that has read a lot, knows what makes the core of a great, heart-wrenching story, and is more than capable of tugging on your heartstrings if that is what he desired. Still, it's a shonen series, so I know you're coming for the action. And as I said, Barehanded Toriko is going to bring you all the action you can ask for. And for those of you who measure all action-oriented stuff by Dragon Ball, trust me, by the end of the series, Toriko can hang with the Saiyans. In fact, due to Toriko's popularity, it was given its own anime and featured a crossover with the cast of One Piece as the initial episode of the series. Although it was not the initial episode of One Piece, though it was a relatively early episode. This I'm going to have to check my notes for. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Doot-doot-doot. Doot-doot-doot-doot-doot-doot. Oh no, not even a relatively early episode. Excuse me, I missed it by a factor of 10. The episode was a crossover. It was episode number 1 for Toriko, but episode 492 of One Piece, taking place during the 14th season. Because of the crossover nature of it, if you watch the Funimation streaming apps marathon style run of One Piece episodes, they do not include episode 492. There was another crossover a little bit later on. Let me see, get my episode numbers right for it. It should be right around here. Right. There was a crossover in episode 51 of Toriko and episode 542 of One Piece. Again, this episode is left out of the Funimation streaming apps set of One Piece episodes, which throws the subsequent episode numberings off. There was also a... Let me see if I can... Right. Okay, yeah. Episode 99 of Toriko featured characters from One Piece, Toriko, and Dragon Ball, concluding with episode 590 of One Piece. Yes, this is also skipped in Funimation's run of the One Piece series. So, you're going to have to do a little searching and scrounging on the internet if you want to catch these, read some Japanese subtitles, or learn to speak and listen to Japanese, since they have never been commercially dubbed. But you can find these episodes out there on the internet. I have seen them myself. Yes, you do get a very brief three-way fight between Toriko, Luffy, and Goku as they compete for a massive helping of very rare and delicious meat, which is the prize for a race around an island. Because what else would those three be competing for except a huge portion of super delicious meat? We're about wrapping up here, folks. There's not much else I can say without getting into super detailed spoilers. Real quick, I guess I can run down the other fighting styles of the four kings, since they are your primary characters throughout the Toriko series and the ones you're going to see in action the most. As I said, Toriko is your barehanded, up-close brawler. Sunny has hair that he can control with his brain, in a nice nod to the Greek mythological characters such as Medusa. Although it is not snakes, it is super strong hair, as well as providing an inordinate amount of sensory information. One of Sunny's great techniques with it is what he calls the spatula attack, in which he forms a net with his hair and redirects the kinetic energy of your attack back at you, doubled over. Thus, if he gets his spatula attack in, you are not only essentially hitting yourself, you are hitting yourself twice as hard as you meant to hit your opponent, resulting in it often being a knockout blow, definitely a battle turner. Coco is the man of poison, capable of secreting a wide variety of poisons, as well as housing antidotes to the vast majority of poisons existing on the planet. Zebra, the problem child of the four kings, is a master of sonic attacks, capable of not only using them offensively, but defensively, creating sound barriers around himself or other people. When they work together, it is said nothing on the planet can defeat the four kings, hence their title. However, they often, due to their clashing personalities, choose not to work together, or when they do, work in smaller pairs. When it's all said and done, though, that's about all I can tell you without getting into heavy spoiler detail territory. It is commercially available here in America. The entire series has been printed and had been for a few years now, so you're most likely going to have to go online to locate all 43 volumes. Once again, let me get it this way. It is by Mitsutoshi Shimabukuro. Toriko is the name. Grab some physical copies, grab some digital copies if that's your style, but check the series out. It's a great way to get your gut hyped for some Thanksgiving feasting. But don't worry about what happens after Thanksgiving, because you can lounge around in your food coma all you want. Do it for a day, do it for a week, do it for the rest of the year. Because every Friday I'm going to ramble. I'm going to count down pop culture. Some of it's going to be holiday thematic. And it ain't going to stop until we get to 2022. And even then, it'll probably go beyond. But I can't tell you what'll be in 2022 because I can't look that far into the future. That is not my power. But I can tell you December is close enough that this will be some great reviews. We're going to discuss personal favorite movies, favorite actors, and we are more importantly going to wrap up our review of the core Dragon Quest series. We've counted down the first 6, and now it's time for the rest. So, join us every Friday. Subscribe. Hit that alarm bell so you get your notifications. Like the videos. Comment on the videos. Offer up suggestions for 2022. And more importantly, have a happy holiday. Stay safe. Stay chill. And enjoy your loved ones. Plus, if you have problems finishing your leftovers, send them my way. Because I love Toriko, and I love feasting just like the man himself. We are Roulette Productions. We will be here for you every week, and we will always bring the positivity because that's how we roll. See you around.